When I was asked to do this, I told them this is probably one of the most intimidating things I've ever had to do, because it's a chance to stand up and expose yourself. And let me tell you, as an introvert, and I mean an extreme introvert, that's not exactly what we enjoy doing on any given Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But that being said, I wanted to accept this, like so many other things in my life, as a challenge. And a challenge to take a moment in a place where I am brand new, to be vulnerable, and to try to show you a little bit of who I am. So I started by telling you that I'm an introvert. And so as a part of when we think about TEDx, we talk about curiosity and skepticism and inspiration and action. Well, let's start with the skepticism. And I'm going to start with my skepticism about inspiration. Truthfully, it's absolutely exhausting, this incessant need for inspiration. That's my truth. Every day I wake up and I show up as one of the 2.5% of physicians that are Black women. Every day I wake up and I show up as one of an even smaller number of Black women faculty physicians in academic medicine. Every day I wake up and I realize that I made a choice to do this thing called DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Don't ask me to define that for you. The definitions are constantly changing. The interpretations are infinitely endless. And the ways to immediately divide people around diversity often feel like I wake up to failure every single day. And in spite that, people look to me and say, but I want to be inspired. I want to know about this amazing person who grew up in a small town, whose parents didn't attend college, who maybe didn't grow up poor, but grew up far from wealthy and can remember all the times when my parents had to tell us there's just not enough. And you hear that often enough, and your parents teach you that to show up, you can't accept not enough. You have to be more. And so every single day, I had the wonderful fortune of a mom and a dad, and I'm a daddy's girl, constantly telling me, be more than enough. But in a way that was so loving and so supportive that I know it made a difference in my life. And they inspired me. And they told me that I had to make a difference. But before they ever told me that, I was naive enough to believe it. And so I thought that I could just put my head down and work hard, because you get good grades and you get scholarships. And if I got scholarships, I could go to college. And if I went to college and I did well, I could somehow figure out how to get more scholarships to afford to take some type of test prep for this thing called the MCAT, because my test taking skills are not quite at abominable, but they are far from amazing and outstanding. And so thankfully, you take a lot of hard work and a lot more hard work, and you get one step closer to something called becoming a physician. And then maybe you get to do other amazing things that really help people, like travel all over the world, to India, to Guatemala, to Honduras, to do so many things that I've loved, but yet to be so often reminded that I'm still not enough. To be still treated as if I wasn't supposed to be the smart girl, that I wasn't supposed to know the answer, and that sometimes I wasn't even supposed to be seen, heard, or acknowledged. And I continued to decide that I should show up in these spaces. Were those everyday slights added up, and to decide to still be encouraged and inspiring and inspirational and tell people that no matter how much it's really hard to do this, no matter what it feels like to go to work and to go to school and think that you're making a difference, but get stopped by the police on the way home because you don't look like you belong in this neighborhood. Or the truly terrifying moment of feeling like I had arrived, living in a big city, driving a nice car, having an amazing profession that afforded me socioeconomic mobility, moving on up to a higher echelon of society, and having my younger brother coming to visit me, and deciding to take a shortcut to avoid that big city traffic, and being pulled over by a police officer, and the light shining in the car, and wondering, what do I do, and how do I keep my brother safe? Because he's just another black man in America, in the wrong neighborhood, in a nice car. And how do I explain that all the things that I've worked so hard to be, to inspire, to encourage others, may mean nothing in that moment? So they asked me to continue to inspire. And how do I do that when all those imposter thoughts go chasing around in my head? Because it's never enough. How do I become okay with failing at this thing that no one seems to be able to define and agree on called DEI, and saying that we really can do something different, like be anti-racist? That we can actually stop long enough to center what it means to be anti-Black and understand that it's inescapable for all of us, myself included. And what it's like to wrestle with, how do I inspire when I have this skepticism? How do I inspire when I don't know where to get the answers to the things that make me curious? But how do I decide to have faith? How do I decide to appreciate every single moment of joy, every single accomplishment that has led me to this moment where I can stand here and say, I'm more than a doctor. I'm more than a Black woman doctor. I'm not even someone who really wanted to dress up to be here, so I decided I'm gonna give you my hoop earrings, my sweater, and my jeans, because honestly, that's me. And that's where I'm most comfortable. And it doesn't make me any less inspiring, any less smart, or any less committed to showing you how much I care and how much I believe that it's okay to fail as long as you're inspired to try again. So that's my action. Thank you.